Okay, working absolute value inequalities. We have the absolute value of x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 1. Greater than or equal to 1. Now, something I did mention in the last video, and that is the words and or. Remember them from absolute or from inequality equations? I think that's what we called them. We worked linear inequalities and then, or linear equations and then linear inequalities, and it was in the linear inequalities, I believe, that we talked about the words and or. Well, guess what, folks? They're back. Now, I'm going to show you when we break this up into two separate equations how to remember and or. Okay? Think of this inequality here as an arrow pointing to the right. Okay? Think of this as an arrow pointing to the right. Okay, you see the letter R in the word or? I want you to associate or, okay, with the word right. You see that? So you know that when this is pointing to the right, we're going to remember the word or. So if it's pointing to the left, it's not pointing to the right. So if it's pointing to the left, then we know it's and. So just remember one of them, and that is pointing to the right. R is associated with the word or. Okay, that's all I want you to remember on that. Or. So what could we think here? Or. Okay, so we're going to break this, we're going to rewrite this, dropping the absolute value bars. X plus 5 is greater than or equal to 1, or x plus 5 is less than or equal to negative 1. So remember in the last problem, we flipped the sign, flip the inequality, and make the right-hand side multiply it by negative 1. So now you have seen this before. We had a section on this, right? Okay, we had a section on this. Linear inequalities. So now we just solve for each one of these. So we have x is greater than or equal to, bringing the 5 over makes it negative 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. And we're done. Okay, x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Or, do the same thing over here. X is less than or equal to. So bringing the 5 over to the right makes it minus 5. You have negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. Negative 6. Okay, x is less than or equal to negative 6. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. Now what we'll want to do is draw that number line. Draw the number line. Okay, so we have a picture to look at. Alright, trying to get this to be a straight line. And we're having some problems with this. Not sure what's going on. Okay, it doesn't, whatever, let's just forget about it. I'm trying to get that straight. Okay, let's go ahead and put negative 4 up here on the number line. Okay, so we'll say this is negative 4, and we'll say this, just arbitrarily pick a point here. This is negative 6. Alright, let's take a look at this. So let's look at this side here. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. So we're going to put a, we include negative 4, so put a solid dot, and everything greater than or equal to negative 4. And then let's, we'll do this one over here in green. And because it includes negative 6, we'll put a solid dot. There you go. Now here's the magic word, that is or. Or means it can be either in this set or in this set. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our interval. Okay, from negative infinity up to negative 6. Now remember, it includes it, so we put a bracket, union from negative 4. Hello? Oh, just making sure my audio is working. I almost got scared on that. I didn't see the little light indicator. Alright, so there's our interval, our solution written in interval notation there. Okay, so the word or, remember, okay, we need to remember that. The inequality pointing to the right, think of that as an arrow pointing to the right. The letter R in right is associated with the letter R in or. Okay, that's all you have to remember. The other one follows. So you can take any number over here in this set, say for example negative 10, plug negative 10 in here. Negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5, but the absolute value of negative 5 is 5, and 5 is greater than or equal to 1. And then once again over here, you can take any number in that interval. For example, 100 plus 5 is 105, and that's obviously greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned about that, but we already knew how to solve it once we got to that point. Okay, it was just once identifying it here. Alright, okay, do we have time for another one? What do we got, 6 minutes? Nah, we'll keep it right there. We'll keep it right there. You know where to catch me right there. Alright, see you in the next video.